Welcome to the Complete School, also known as TCS. Today, we're diving into Chapter 2 of Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. This chapter is all about desire, that burning ambition that fuels achievement.
It's fascinating how Hill kicks things off with the story of Edwin Barnes. This guy was absolutely determined to work with Thomas Edison, not as an employee, but as a partner.
Right from the start, we see this incredible drive in Barnes. He shows up in Orange, New Jersey, with practically nothing but the clothes on his back. Yet he carries himself with the conviction of someone who's already achieved greatness.
It's important to note here that Barnes isn't just wishing or hoping. He has a clear, burning desire that propels him forward. This desire becomes his sole focus, shaping his every action.
And this unwavering commitment leads him to make a bold move. Instead of approaching Edison directly with a proposition, Barnes takes a job in Edison's lab. Not a glamorous position, mind you, but he's playing the long game.
That's a crucial point. Barnes understands that achieving his goal requires patience and strategic action. He's willing to start from the bottom, knowing that every step he takes brings him closer to his ultimate objective.
But here's where it gets really interesting. Even while performing menial tasks, Barnes never loses sight of his vision. He sees himself as Edison's partner, not just an employee. He holds on to that image with unwavering conviction.
This mental picture, this unwavering belief in his desired outcome, is what sets Barnes apart. He doesn't just dream about it, he embodies it.
For 5 years, he works diligently, without any guarantee of success. But his desire never wavers. Can you imagine the mental fortitude that required?
Absolutely, and that's the power of a definite desire. Hill argues that when you have a clear vision and an unwavering commitment to achieve it, you tap into a force that can overcome any obstacle.
It's almost like Barnes burned his ships, metaphorically speaking. By committing fully to his goal, he eliminates any possibility of retreat.
That's a powerful analogy. By removing all options for retreat, you force yourself to focus solely on achieving your objective. It's a strategy that's been used by warriors throughout history.
And speaking of warriors, that's exactly what Hill wants us to be. Warriors in pursuit of our dreams. He challenges us to identify our own burning desires, those goals that we're willing to fight for.
It's about discovering what truly matters to you, what sets your soul on fire, what would you burn your ships for, what are you willing to commit to fully?
That's a powerful question for all of us to contemplate. But before you delve too deep into that, why not take a moment to subscribe to TCS for more? We'll be back in a flash to continue our deep dive into Think and Grow Rich.
It's not just about identifying those desires, though. It's about transforming them into concrete action. Hill illustrates this point with the story of Marshall Field, a man who faced incredible adversity but emerged even stronger.
Right. After the Great Chicago Fire, many people lost hope and abandoned the city. But not Marshall Field. He saw an opportunity to rebuild, to create something even greater from the ashes.
Field's burning desire to succeed fueled his resilience. He didn't dwell on the loss. He focused on the possibility of a brighter future.
And this unwavering belief in his vision is what allowed him to not only rebuild his business, but to make it even more successful than before. It's a powerful testament to the indomitable spirit of a true warrior.
Hill then dives into the practical side of things, outlining 6 steps to transmute desire into tangible riches.
These steps might seem straightforward at first glance, but they're deceptively profound. They offer a roadmap for turning dreams into reality.
The first step is to fix in your mind the exact amount of money you desire. This isn't about being greedy. It's about setting a clear and specific target.
It's like aiming an arrow. You need to have a precise target in mind to hit the bullseye.
Exactly. The next step is to determine what you are willing to give in return for that money. Achievement requires effort, sacrifice, and a willingness to contribute value.
There's no such thing as a free lunch, Red. Every worthwhile goal demands something from us.
Step 3 is to establish a definite date for achieving your financial goal. This creates a sense of urgency and helps you stay focused on the timeline.
Deadlines can be powerful motivators. They provide a clear time frame and help us avoid procrastination.
The 4th step is to create a definite plan for carrying out your desire and start putting that plan into action immediately. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Just start taking those first steps.
Action is key. It's not enough to simply dream. We need to translate those dreams into concrete steps.
Step 5 is to write out a clear, concise statement of the amount of money you intend to acquire, your timeline, what you will give in return, and your plan of action. This act of writing crystallizes your commitment and makes your vision more tangible.
It's like putting pen to paper on a contract with yourself. It formalizes your commitment. and makes it more real.
And finally, the sixth step is to read. That written statement aloud twice daily, once before going to bed and once upon waking. As you read, visualize yourself already in possession of the money. Feel it, believe it, embody that success.
This might sound a bit strange to some, but there's a powerful psychological principle at play here. By repeatedly visualizing our desired outcome, we're essentially programming our subconscious mind to seek out opportunities that align with our goals.
Hill argues that this consistent visualization helps to align our thoughts and actions with our desires, making success more likely.
It's like planting a seed in our minds and then nurturing it with constant attention and belief.
These 6 steps, endorsed by none other than Andrew Carnegie himself, emphasize the importance of both practical action and unwavering belief.
It's a potent combination that can propel us towards achieving even the most audacious goals. But even with the best laid plans, we're bound to face challenges along the way.
Hill acknowledges that adversity is an inevitable part of the journey to success. In fact, he argues that challenges can be catalysts for growth, forcing us to tap into our inner strength and resilience.
He points to countless historical figures who faced immense obstacles, but ultimately achieved greatness. People like John Bunyan, who wrote Pilgrim's Progress while imprisoned, or Helen Keller, who overcame being deaf, blind, and mute to become a world-renowned author and activist.
These individuals weren't deterred by their challenges. They used them as fuel to propel themselves forward. They embodied the spirit of true warriors, refusing to surrender to adversity.
And speaking of overcoming challenges, Hill shares a deeply personal story in this chapter. The story of his own son, Blair, who was born without ears.
This story is a testament to the unwavering faith and determination of a father who refused to accept his son's perceived limitations.
Hill refused to believe that Blair would be a deaf mute. He instilled in his son a burning desire to hear and speak. And remarkably, through a combination of innovative techniques and unwavering belief, Blair eventually learned to hear and speak. Now, before we dive into that, Warriors, why not take a moment and subscribe to TCS for more? We'll pick right back up after this. It's truly a remarkable story that highlights the power of belief to overcome seemingly insurmountable obstacles.
Blair's story illustrates how a burning desire coupled with persistent effort can defy even the limitations set by nature itself. It challenges us to examine our own beliefs and to consider what might be possible if we truly harness the power of desire.
It makes you wonder how many of us give up on our dreams too easily, accepting limitations that might not actually exist.
Precisely. And to further emphasize this point, Hill introduces us to Madame Schumann-Heink, a woman who defied a harsh prediction to become one of the most celebrated opera singers of her time.
Imagine being told by a Vienna court opera director, you should just give up on your dreams of singing and buy a sewing machine. That's exactly what happened to Schumann-Heink early in her career.
It's a crushing blow, especially coming from someone in a position of authority. But Schumann-Heink refused to let this discouragement extinguish her burning desire to sing.
She could have easily accepted this verdict and chosen a different path. Instead, she persevered, fueled by her unwavering belief in her talent and her passion for music.
Her story reminds us that we should never allow someone else's opinion to define our limits or dictate our destiny. True success comes from trusting our inner voice and pursuing our passions with unwavering determination.
And sometimes that inner voice is all we have to cling to, especially when faced with adversity. Hill recounts another powerful anecdote about a business associate who was battling a serious illness.
This associate was facing a risky operation, and the doctors were not optimistic about his chances of survival. But despite the grim prognosis, this man remained remarkably positive.
He refused to give in to fear or despair. Instead, he clung to hope, whispering to Hill, "Don't be disturbed, Chief. I'll be out of here in a few days."
And amazingly, he pulled through. While medical expertise certainly played a role, Hill attributes much of his associate's recovery to his indomitable spirit and his unwavering will to live.
It speaks to the profound connection between mind and body and how a positive mindset can influence even our physical well-being.
Hill concludes the chapter by driving home the central message: intense desire, backed by unwavering faith, can overcome any obstacle and achieve any goal.
He reminds us that desire is the starting point of all achievement, the spark that ignites the fire of action. It's the fuel that propels us forward, even when faced with challenges and setbacks.
So what can we as modern-day warriors take away from this chapter? It's a call to action, an invitation to identify our own burning desires, those goals that ignite our passions and set our souls on fire.
It's about recognizing the power of belief, the ability of our minds to shape our reality. Hill challenges us to not simply dream, but to act, to implement those 6 steps with unwavering commitment and conviction.
Define your desire. Determine your efforts, set a deadline. Create a plan, write it all down, and review it daily. These steps provide a framework for turning even the most ambitious dreams into tangible realities.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into Chapter 2 of Think and Grow Rich, let's remember that the power to achieve greatness lies within each of us. Embrace the power of desire. Cultivate unwavering belief and take decisive action. The journey may be challenging, but the rewards are immeasurable. And if you're ready to continue on this journey of growth and self-discovery, be sure to subscribe to TCS for more deep dives into insightful content. Until next time, keep those desires burning bright.